Unapologetically Black Educator Storyline. I'm also helping with the Rest and Rise Black Educators group that Colorado has started. And I will briefly introduce Keisha, so I'll let her introduce herself. Hi everyone, I'm Keisha Stray, she, her pronouns. I serve as the Deputy Director of Teaching for Change, one of the co-hosts for tonight's event. So we're excited to have you here. One of our projects, I was like, how am I going to say this? One of our projects is our DC area Educators for Social Justice. And so we are just excited to be part of this experience. Go ahead. And grateful that you all get to be here. Okay. So who knows what week it is? Black History Month. Black History Month. National Council. There we go. National Council Black History Month, and it's also Black Lives Matter at School. A week of action. So Black Lives Matter at School Week of Action is part of a national coalition of the Black Lives Matter at School movement. What it does is it takes the 13 principles of Black Lives Matter and creates space for those principles to be affirmed in classrooms all across the country. But here in DC, the DC area educators and Teaching for Change help to coordinate the events that happen throughout DC. 8 years. We have been doing this for about 8 years. And we'll be in classrooms documenting teaching stories, taking on teaching stories, but it's not just about the week of action, it's also about a year of purpose. We recognize that we aren't just affirming Black lives once, we're not just affirming Black lives in a week, we're not just affirming Black lives in a month, we're affirming Black lives 365 days, sometimes 6, 24/7, right? And one of the national demands of the movement is hiring and retain Black educators. So this is that space that we do that. We've been hosting the Black Educator Story Lounge for the last 4 years, along with Empower Ed. And this is the space that we bring community together to affirm your stories, to empower each other and support each other through this process. So we know that this is not light work, so thank you all for being here on a school night, especially after the weird weather we had today. I'm sure delays, all that other stuff, so thank you for being here and making time to be here this evening. With that, let me give you a rundown of how tonight is going to go. How many people have been here before? This event. Awesome. Welcome back. So the way that this goes is that we invite several educators to come up. They'll have about 5 to 7 minutes to tell their stories. When they are done telling their stories, we're going to give it up to them, support them, cheer them down, right? All those things. Storytellers. Teaching for Change has brought a couple of books that you can bring to your classrooms. You get to take one per story that has been told. Feel free to grab those, meet me, grab those after. Everyone who's here also has a copy of the 1619 project at your table. If you didn't get one, I have one for you. So the 1619 project magazine is there for you to take as well. And then finally, if you did not pre-sign up, you still have plenty of time to tell your story. So come see me or Caroline. We're happy to add you to the list. We want to make sure that we give up the stage for you all to have our voices heard and told. And so without further ado, Caroline's going to introduce our first storyteller. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to echo again what Keisha said. It is so important for our students to have someone that looks like them in front of them in the classroom, and also to have a community of other Black educators who know the experience, because sometimes the experience of being a Black educator is different than the experience of being an educator. If we don't factor that into any of our retention policies, we're not going to retain the right people in front of our kids. So that's really important to just around them. Okay. All right. So our very first speaker, is he ready? He's ready. All right. Our very first speaker today. Drum roll. Native Washingtonian, and I'll add as well that his parents were also Black educators. I'll just give too much away. In DC, native Washingtonian who now teaches algebra to 8th graders at Center City Public Charter Schools, and he is back and forth between campuses. He's doing it all. Alphonse is dedicated to improving math outcomes and setting up DC students for mathematical success in high school and beyond.
So, what does it mean to me in 2025 to be a Black educator? It means embracing community. It means reminding yourself and anyone else that your people's history is filled with hard, dire circumstances, and yet they survive. Not only do they survive, they thrive through community. As educators, we have to give back to the community. We do this by attending events like this one, by connecting with folks at professional developments, by being open to observations and open to learning. With the advances in technology ever since I was born, we have seen how isolated we have become as a people. Our reliance on cell phones, shop news media, and even things that were designed to bring easier socialization have further divided us. Our classrooms cannot become silos, especially not when there are great things happening in those classrooms. This is what I think about when I think about what my charge is going forward. How do I expand, fortify, and empower my community of teachers? I truly care about math proficiency, and creating people who do not fear math. It is my mission to help in any way I can. And since I want to go far, I cannot do it alone. It is important that there is a community of educators who believe this as well. So as I see a room filled with mostly Black and brown educators who teach in a city filled with students who look like them, I ask that we work to build this community, our own communities, and continue to strengthen the teaching our students receive. If the past 2 weeks has taught us anything, it is that we need to get back to the basics of equity, access, and leadership. And to me, it starts with community. Thank you for letting me get these calls out.
Don't forget to come grab your book. Okay, our next educator is Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah here, also. So Isaiah has devoted his passion and talents to educating scholars who possess the potential to contribute significantly to their future and the world. Thank you. Isaiah holds a master's degree from the Johns Hopkins School of Education and an undergraduate degree in innovation and entrepreneurship from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. So Isaiah, come to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. As you all know, my name is Isaiah Thomas. I've been an educator in DC for roughly 4 years. When it comes to being an educator, I will say that starting off before I go into what I'm going to do, it is challenging, especially being a Black male educator. And I will say a lot of my kids do look up to me as a go-to for their brother, or their dad, or their teacher, or their best friend, or I don't know, one. But these are many of the hats that we must wear when it comes to dealing with students who look like us. But also kids that may not look like us, but have grown up just like us in different communities that we do serve. And I feel like what I'm going to do tonight is a wrap. And it actually does embody a lot of what I think and what I go through when it comes to actually educating the students that answer themselves. Yeah, looking in the dish bowl, mother, this was cookies and ice cream and light leaves, pipe dreams, following the schemes of a pipeline that put the children in quick sleep. The most eating the book dreams of those that do in the concrete, the only things I've ever seen. Crazy, right? Couple moments can change a life. We're paying the price when the people might take the price. In the real fortune, noticing that the price is right. Anyways, I'm looking to see him in the day. Who am I to see that they can be the ones who put away? I'm making strides in my own life. With a shade coming to it with a roller steady with this every day. I'm struggling to see the light in the tunnel. Coping mechanisms keep my push from blowing up. I'm betting in trouble. Traumatized with the lies from superiors who let them go throughout the years. They strategize, now we see time flies and I see real lies out of the you. Being guided by the settlements, lies and eyes who never once dared to try but try. And I'm understanding to never ask for why. To push around from front of lost child and family. Get down with all of the hard work you send. Meanwhile, the next one getting all of the family. Doesn't know it or the ops got your mind. I started in the palace when others don't come out as when about the big. I probably about to take a caution when I was taking something, keeping love that the passion is a mission to see them better than the vision with visions that be spread and not the media needs. And real weak, we can bring a shade on me. We put the screen just to see another version of the new of me. Never knew the mama screaming tragedies. One's up for the ones who never knew much. Two's up for the kids that never had the trust. Get it, please, for the dreams that need it on the scene. Positivity, one's up for the ones who never knew much. Two's up for the ones who ran out of luck. In the three, showing Christine, reflection on the scene. Young scene, showing that they shouldn't from the sheets. They receive the blind, we in the blind, like a couple of miles. We always up as well. I stand up down, all of my fingers speak. I'm come down, just with the love that they give, please. Down, heaven down, we got this one, that seems so kind. Turn down, we got my kids. Asking how people can be a kid and be a shit out of different kisses and different missions. Saying the secret, my little nigga, you see instead of the screaming, bottom of the bell, straight to the making it. I remember being there that we embody, praying that somebody was in the body, the body is the build that people shutting down, that their environment, telling them all the same lies that we accomplishing, that made it seem like we were spinning in the park, I'm thinking the start. When we put you in march, I feel in the city that we see is always in bar. We've been taught to love that nigga, but not the talk. That's about it. Yeah. But it will be finished.
It's a work in progress, just like we are. Great, thank you so much, Isaiah. So our first two speakers killed it objectively. And also that was I think our first song, right? So thank you for breaking ground here. Okay. Our next speaker. Our next speaker is Tiara Hudson. All right, can you see some clap? Entitled Rebellious Reflections. It's always been a pastime for Tiara as she has been writing poems since she was 16 years old. Words have always been a tool of expression to forge a mutual understanding of similar circumstances. Keep up with all author-related things by following her at author P. Hudson on Instagram. I do long pieces sometimes, but this is a short piece today. It says, sowing the seeds for our future, capturing core memories, soundtrack of last 30 years. All in all, is proof of a good year. Amplifying small voices, boosting their confidence, cultivating personalities, all while fitting into their reality. Learning is a dual experience full of challenges and joy. All the ways you'll grow, all the ways you'll impact your teachers, you'll never know. Thank you so much for sharing your words. So again, Teaching for Change, one of our projects is social justice books, where we curate more than 100 book lists for children and young adults on themes of multicultural identity and social justice issues. There are several books that we have offered here that are part of our Black Lives Matter at School book lists that follow or connect with one of the 13 principles. There are also books that are written by young youth DC authors, so check those out. I can print those out for you as well. And then authors, Isaiah, you got one from a young author from Prince George's County, who we had the pleasure of having join us during our Black Lives Matter and Books event. So just want to ground like the gifts that we get through publishers who donated these books so that we can provide them during this week, but then also provide them as we continue with the year. So just want to shout that out. I'm going to call up now Autumn Thomas. Autumn, who is originally from Florida, has been living in Washington, D.C. for the last 7 years. Most recently, has been promoted up to the Director of College and Career Readiness at Youth Build Public Charter School. Yes. And has been serving with them for the last 2.5 years. Outside of Autumn's career, Autumn is an entrepreneur, a poet, activist, a mom to a 7-year-old Chihuahua Terrier. Let's give it up for Autumn, everyone. Good evening. Again, my name is Autumn Thomas. So, like she said, I'm originally from Florida. I've been working in the DC area now for the last 7 years. And I just kind of put together a lot of my experiences and put them in a poem. So that's what I would do. And when I was a family, and I used to do spoken words and kind of bring them back a little bit. It's funny how you can ask an adult, how did you think you were going to live when you were young? Give you bits pieces of what they imagined. I said I was going to have 3 Hummers, I was going to become a doctor and a lawyer and be married by the age of 25. The innocence of ignorance, right? But where did we lose that? Where did our desire for more actually become impossible? When I look at the students I serve every single day, students whose average yearly household income is about 5 combined checks from any working professional. Students who glamorize guns because gunshots are their lullabies. Children whose attention span coupled with their literacy rate means an educator is leaving work exhausted yet again. I think I understand where we got lost. Just 2 blocks from the White House and U.S. Capitol is a community where a mother can be casually shot in the leg by a stray bullet at 2:30 in the afternoon because she was walking to the corner store and took a different route. And we cry for her. We hurt for her. We feel her. But do we understand that her 3 children now have it imprinted in their memory that their neighborhood where they actually live and should have peace is not safe? Do we understand that the next day in school, when they're expected to perform like their other peers, they will actually need to sleep? the sleep they missed last night because bitter nightmares swallowed their sleep dreams. And we understand that they'll probably have an attitude. They'll throw things to keep themselves up, and if anything, just to shut their brain off. Now underperforming, now disrespectful, now out of control, now unmanageable. And do we understand that a full year of this behavior with no context or conversation, passing it through to the next grade just because, means that we now have a student who has failed their previous grade, is currently behind because they're failing their current grade, and mama is still on self-imposed house arrest, fear hovering over her front door. Do we understand that whenever this occurs, eventually their actions will begin to dictate their destiny? Don't show me the disproportionate amount of Black people that are wrongfully or unjustly convicted without adding that they probably grew up in poverty. Don't show me a high school dropout throwing her away and saying she'll never be nothing without understanding that she can't think clearly in her own home because of the molded and rat-infested buildings that we call government housing. 13 human beings in prison on death row were executed under the previous Trump administration, the first president in over a century to lead this number of executions. So what breaks my heart is that most of these human beings experience severe trauma. Trauma is defined as deeply distressing or disturbing experience. Most trauma for Black people occurs before the age of 14. Leaving a child to process the hurt that comes from poverty and the sting that comes from hunger, and the anger that comes from pain. Children cannot control their circumstances. But if they're not performing on grade level, they're lazy. But what if we ensure that every student's basic needs are met before asking them to perform? Like when they walk through the classroom, we're there, ready to absorb whatever it is they're carrying, laying out self-affirmation cards in front of them, mouthing the words that they're beautiful, they can do this, they are created on purpose for a purpose. God has given them the power to do anything. If they envision it, it's for them. What if we practice speaking life into thoughts instead of dismissing ideas? What if we walk with childlike faith every day, giving children books on Thurgood Marshall, James Durham, whoever in between inspires us? What if education exceeded the classroom and children learned about the logic, skill, intellect, and grit needed to survive by themselves? By taking them to different parts of the country with land and natural resources that we have right here. Knowledge is power, but if we don't empower, they'll believe the headlines that Black is a threat. Black kids deserve inherited lands and businesses too, not just overpriced clothes and shoes. But most importantly, they deserve to be heard. I dream of the day education encompasses all these, because that is the day every student of color will truly know their power. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was extremely powerful. Thank you, and we can tell you that was amazing. All right, I'm gonna and ask if there's anyone that feels moved to speak. Please go give your name to Keisha, and we will put you on our roster at the end. But our next speaker is Devon Montgomery. Woo! Great. Devon Montgomery has been an elementary educator in the district for the past 14 years. Woo-hoo! Yeah. Equity, advocacy, building, and agency are essential tenets of his educational philosophy and have shaped the tenets of educators, the type of educator he's grown to become. As a developing education leader, he's interested in taking steps towards fostering a sense of community for all stakeholders of agency in the educational process. Hailing from New York City originally, if you can't tell from his outfit. He reps his New York sports teams with pride.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Devon Montgomery, and I've been an educator in DC for the past 14 years. And currently, I'm a theater student. It's kind of my educational kind of career has kind of made me into a systems thinker. And so, in that kind of space, trying to, effect the most change, I feel is I kind of got involved with Empower Ed. But before I kind of get into what I want to get into, one thing that I'm really focused on is kind of shaping and rechanging the way we talk about our kids. And I think a lot of what I notice is that it's always about how our kids are participating in our system. But I think we need to reshape the conversation to talk about how our system doesn't get to our kids. Like, think about in terms of what are the things that we could do to tap into the system that they have. Right? Kind of changing that how do we build them up versus talking about potential position that they have. I'm gonna get into a poem that I wrote a while ago, back when the girls were missing in DC, and that was kind of a thing that wasn't being publicized. And it was this big movement to kind of get the word out on the missing girls in DC. Kind of this is talking about, again, kind of call to action about empowering the students to kind of, changing that narrative. This is called Ebony Love. I'm in DC for the MPD, just don't know how to act. Between you and me, this tomfoolery has made a big impact. On the city stage, citizens enraged, no help is on their way. Feel like rats in a cage that can't engage when politics in play. Whose coverage just begun because everyone is saying our girl's name. The police Twitter feed has moved with speed, but just ignites the flames. When men drop history, it's no mystery, the importance that they play. Teach our girls what they're worth and they'll rule the earth, inspire them today. Respect people's identity, a new pedigree, the whole world needs to see. Put ego on the shelf, strong sense of self, inspires unity. Conflict breeds mutiny in the community. Unite around the goal. People, let's come together. We can do better. Violence protects the soul. National media always there to the sea. The perspective is skewed, biased by every means. Ebony alert. Children of every age. Ebony alert. Citizens are enraged. Ebony alert. Academics need help now. Ebony alert. We need to hold them down. Ebony alert. Children of every age. Ebony alert. Citizens are enraged. Ebony alert. Academics need help now. Ebony alert. We need to hold them down. They'll talk about when bangers about when slangers about when kids get shot. They'll talk about what elders can wings of bells like they want us to rock. It's like they seldom mention or pay attention when shade is thrown our way, when companies bubble over or get exposure across the USA. What will it take to the state to get what we deserve? They'll talk about that choice, but you our voices, we have something to say. We will not be avoided. Freedoms and limits to those that pay their way like two. Salt over torn, open the door and fight your way right through. It's time to ring the bell when mad as hell. Truck, we're coming for you. Let's fight for what we need. We can't see. There's no doubt in my mind if we fight with each other, options get smothered and we get left behind. National media always say to the scene. Their perspective is skewed, biased by every means. Ebony alert. Children of every age. Ebony alert. Citizens are enraged. Ebony alert. Academics need help now. Ebony alert. We need to hold them down. Ebony alert. Children of every age. Ebony alert. Citizens are enraged. Ebony alert. Academics need help now. Ebony alert. We need to hold them down. We must create some wealth and take care of our health. Study our history. Not drown in misery. Work with our enemies, not bullshit and agree, invest in property, and eat our broccoli. Some courses are at play each and every day, making it uphill climb. We must break these systems down, or we will drown just a matter of time. Don't let fear hold you back, keep you on track, or stop you from your grind. You have to be creative or innovative, express what's on your mind. Conflict will make you stronger and hold on longer, but you have to engage in bullshit conversation with aggravation can turn right into rage. We owe it to the kids to stop taking risks, gambling with their life. Let's give our kids a choice to make their voice for their own tonight. National media always say to the sea, their perspective they speak, bias by every means. Every alert, children of every age, every alert. Citizens are enraged, every alert. And brothers need help now, every alert. We need to hold them down, every alert. Children of every age, every alert. Citizens are enraged, every alert. And brothers need help now, every alert. We need to hold them down.
Let's open up for the one more time. Back to Autumn. Autumn, you reminded us that educators are first responders in our community, and y'all don't get the respect that you deserve enough. So let's remind ourselves, the educators in the room, I thank you for what you do every day for our communities. I thank you for what you do every day for our communities. If you are not an educator, can you give it up for the educators that are in this space right now? For our Black male educators. Representation is already low when it comes to being a Black human in our classrooms. We also know that representation is very low and the support is very low for our Black male educators. So I just want to give it up for you all being present. This is not the first time that y'all have held the mic down, so thank you for being here with us today. I'm going to invite Angela Curry to come up and tell her story. So as Angela gets set, Angela Curry is an educator, certified yoga instructor, and founded Arise Educational Services in 2020. Y'all be doing the most. Thank you. So Arise began with a simple but powerful goal to create space where youth could develop academically, emotionally, and physically to support youth development. Angela, quote, saw firsthand how crucial it is for children to feel balanced and supported in all aspects of their lives. Therefore, she decided to dedicate herself to enhancing children's emotional and physical wellness through literacy, yoga, and mindfulness. Today, Arise offers yoga, literacy support, and mindfulness programs aimed at fostering a well-rounded approach to education, helping kids thrive both in school and in life. Educator, first responder, through and through, right? So Arise offers both before school and after school youth yoga classes across the DMV with programs that focus on teaching mindfulness while aiming to enhance children's flexibility, balance, focus, self-regulation, and self-esteem. In addition to yoga, Angela offers tutoring to support students' academic growth. Offerings include after-school yoga sessions, birthday parties, and specialized tutoring programs. So give it up for Angela.
Hello everyone, I'd like to thank my husband and for my family and for my besties. I met Scott and Caroline at the State Board of Education. I was cleaned by kids, and I'm going to share with you what I did. I'm an educator in DC. Unfortunately, I'm not working in the system. I've been highly affected 5 times as a reading specialist for that section. But unfortunately, I'm in the basement right now. Well, they placed me in the basement in yoga on the floor. Then the black infested building. So this is my story. And I hope you enjoy it. It's how it is from the ground. I started in the basement, low to the ground, where the air was heavy, the sound was more crept in the corners, mice danced in the dark. But I had a fire within, our presence, breathing, tasking, fighting for everything. My asthma reminded me, the system, teaching kids to breathe when I could barely do the same. Yet I rose each day, carrying memories. On yoga mats, on floors cracked and stained, teaching children to rise, though my body felt strained. Reach for the sky, plant your feet on the ground, but deep inside, my spirit around. The walls whispered complaints. The ceilings hung low, that in those mountains, seeds of hope would grow. Small hands on my heart, get on the floor. I prayed for a space that would offer them more. Prayer, safe ground, a place to belong, where laughter and learning could blossom strong. But no one spoke up. No one fought for change, leaving me in the basement, suffocating in pain. So I rose each day with purpose and stride, holding on to the vision that burned deep inside. Because the work I do is reading prayer. And even in the darkness, I can there. Now I speak for the children, the future, the work, for they deserve a space that honors their work. No mold, no decay, no lice on the floor, but safety, clean air, and an open door. So hear me now, let the truth ignite. From the basement of struggle, will rise to the light. For the children deserve a place to soar, and I'll keep teaching love, no matter. Thank you so much again, Angela. Again, something that you spoke about, that pretty much everybody who has been up here today has spoken about, is how difficult it is to work within the systems we work in, and how tough it is to ground yourself and your students in an environment that's actively harmful for everyone. So thank you for giving voice to that. Our next speaker is Educator. In Washington, D.C. Working professional, he's currently working in a nonprofit at the National Parent Teachers Association as a Programs and Strategic Initiative Specialist. In this role, he provides access to educational opportunities that inspire students and families across the U.S. Subsequently, he assists with building partnerships and developing program materials that support the national PTA programming across a diverse range of communities, schools, and families. So thank you for helping address those issues. He holds a master's in teaching inclusive education with a background as an elementary educator for 7 years. When he worked to close the achievement gaps in Washington, D.C., in his 7 years as an educator, he worked hard to provide high-quality education to students of underrepresented populations. His accolades as an educator led to students achieving grades 60 to 70% higher than their peers across the nation.
issues in DC's education related to policy advocacy and organizing for our educational system.
Say thank you to Scott and everybody involved in this opportunity. I try to 2025 use my voice forward to empower everybody, but especially people of color because of everything that we're going through. So I'm gonna start this reflection when we call it a snippet of the Brown Form. A lot of people probably in the room have heard it. Be so black by the somewhere. We just do a snippet of it. Black is brilliant, Black is strong, Black is resilient, Black is soft, Black is infinite, like hip hop for space, Black is great, Black is love, Black makes babies, Black babies grow up, Black is tough, Black is hard to do, Black is me, Black is you. It's not something we get to choose, but it's something that we cherish. Happy Black History Month, so everybody knows. Today I'm gonna speak on my educational journey as a student forever. Once an educator, always an educator. But I'm gonna talk about it from three things. What it was, what it is now, and what I hope for the future. I became a teacher because one day I was in Northeast and I saw a billboard and it said high school students graduating at a rate of like 56%. I was alarmed by that. They have a summer program where they let kids in DC make up credit. That's what high school students do. So that year it came up to like 61.5%. But I was like, why is most kids that I look like, why would 62% of them graduate from high school, right? Like, I was floored by that. And so I thought like, they're not achieving as much as their counterparts. Like, I'm going to become a teacher. Right? It was that moment that I felt like I need to step in. I had so much to do. I was in a career where I wasn't really satisfied with what I was doing, what I thought my dreams were going to be. I became a teacher. You know, I did it. You know, but unfortunately, in 2021, 2022, my year as a fellow, I was done. And I would say what I, what exactly happened to me, but too many people called me a derogatory term that really, it caused me to rethink and recalibrate who I was and how I impact, the impact that I was having. Unfortunately, that student right now is on trial for murder. So when you look at certain circumstances, you don't really, sometimes you think from a perspective, but you can't always view it from that perspective. You have to think about it from that side perspective, what they're going to do, right? Like, I'm not in jail for murder. I'm here speaking in front of everybody else. I'm in a free state, so my life looks a little different than, that child. Thank the hope. After that year, a parent charged at me, and my principal had to intervene in between that and kind of tell her, like, look at what you're doing in front of your children. And it kind of, that stopped her. Because we were on opposite sides of the room. This was in the middle, so she had at least got to her where she could stop. I was sitting in the chair on the other side. And she was upset because her student had not bumped me. And I told her, would you let me bump you? Right? Like, I don't hit nobody, or anything. So, like, why would you do that? That child was probably a little bit too advanced because earlier that year, too, him and another child were talking about my sexual orientation, which is something that should not be discussed among children, but it was all that, like, teaching was, we are taking a lot of sacrifices in, but the thing was first like responders, and that's exactly what I was, I went back and led the initiative of going back to hybrid teaching. I was a hybrid teacher, but I'm gonna change the tone just a little bit because I'm not gonna say that I didn't value what I did as an educator. Like connecting with families, and especially in the climate right now. I taught in many schools that have students from the ESL, like the teaching of the language, was the best time of my life. Like I won't take any of that for granted because those families, they understand the value of a real hard education. I'm not saying that nobody does not, but I've seen the tenacity that comes with that, right? Like you can't take that for granted.
also too, you know, like kids that I touched, they grew at least some of them grew a grade level and a half, where I taught kids that were, I was in third grade teaching kids on the kindergarten read level or kindergarten math level, having them do grade level material. So that's 3 years of material in less than 180 days. Right? Like we ain't teaching 365 days. Right? You gotta understand that. But right now, I'm you know, not totally happy with education. I'm happy about myself. I'm happy with myself. Let me say that. But I went back and looked at the OSCE rates, graduation rates, and last year it was 76.1%. So I'm not even gonna mention what I do now. Like I work for the National PTA, but that's not my end goal. Like I know there's more for me, but we do deploy programs in arts, you know, mental education, mental health, STEM, digital safety, you know, and I do know this about it. I'm gonna end up around this up, but like, you know, right now morning education, everything is going to the Department of Ed, but like, I'm just gonna touch on a couple things. Teachers, they forever remain underpaid, under-resourced. They continue to endure physical and verbal abuse. One of my friends got recently within the last month, got kicked in the leg by a student 5 times, and then also got a chair thrown at him. And so that's just within 2025, to be realistic. But our Black and Indigenous students and the students of color, you know, they remain disadvantaged. Their loss of protection remain in jeopardy, and the political climate just creates a lot of uncertainty for them. And so, while the future is unpredictable, I'm glad some of my friends are in the building, and I continue to remain surrounded by great people. And because of those people, I continue to thrive and make important decisions, and I appreciate all of them. And you know, I hope people listen up. Even though I'm no longer physically in the classroom, I'm still committed to the work of closing the achievement gap for Black and Brown students. I provide, you know, through my job in other ways, I provide resources and support and information for teachers and parents and schools that ultimately get results, and you can't do it alone. So that's my new note, guys. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Aggie. Speaking. 7 years in teaching, 7 years. If y'all don't know, 7 is the year of completion. So whatever purpose work y'all have been doing for these 7 years, a new beginning has started. So thank you. And I also appreciate that you reminded us that just because you might not be in the classroom doesn't mean that you are no longer an educator. So when we say first responders in communities, that's exactly what we mean. So thank you. All right. I get the pleasure of introducing a dope human being that I got to just recently meet. Had some proximity to them before, but had the pleasure of being able to sit with them through a presentation that they did for Black Lives Matter school curriculum fair a couple weeks ago, and they killed it. Not only did they kill it, it was one of the most needed, as we were hearing from folks who sent back their feedback sessions. That we were so glad that even after the, how many years have we done this now? 4 years that we have done the virtual curriculum fair, how necessary it was for the session to be present. So, Rosalie Lake. I'm excited to welcome to the stage Rosalie Lake, who is Afro-Dominicana, Spanish teacher from San Pedro de Margarita, Dominican Republic, fellow island, I'm from Haiti. Right? And Harrisonburg, Virginia, who lives in DC. I can say how much she loves her students and wants to see them succeed using Spanish and English to make the world and our community a better and safer place to does Black Lives Matter mean to you?
Buenas noches. Can we say buenas noches? My students will be watching this, and I want them to see 100%. For me, Black Lives Matter means to just making sure that my students see me without me having to make up any stories of struggle. I'm tired of connecting with my students who struggle. I say when we share in the presentation, Black Lives Matter in the Spanish speaking world, I shouted out my students like they were in the space with me because it's so beautiful to me when they find out that there's Black people just in America. They actually humble us, like they're teaching me right now about just being Black and allowing the child to tell me what they see. So in the Spanish language, I get to tell them, oh, your country is so much cooler than my country. We don't have that like that. So for me, the ability to even celebrate it in America is like, oh, we're here, right? We've been here, we've been in the entire Western Hemisphere, yet there are curriculums in our countries, in the Spanish-speaking world, and also in Asia, in particular, where nobody's acknowledging that you have Black folks in diplomacy who are having kids abroad, and nobody is including them in the curriculum abroad in the Middle East. Nobody is in the Spanish-speaking country curriculum. And in America, I love the fact that we have it, but in the project that I presented, I want my kids to present it as a celebration, like because it's a shame. So I don't want them to present the project like to police brutality, struggle, or anything like that. I want them to know like do they celebrate these people in that country, and then they get to compare and contrast. Then I get to see what they see as African American, and then they get to see my grade, which is going to be in paper, because that's a high level project. They're going to get to show me and their parents and what the comparison is. So for me, Black Lives Matter is like an action phrase, right? Because they are alive, they are here. I know a lot of students. I don't think some people and I can even step into something without even right? Because a Black child shouldn't have to deal with what they're dealing with in this day and age, especially in America. We had a Black president. So for me, it's very personal. I want to have children one day, and I'm going to trust that. I will be damned with my children. I have my children, if my children have an experience, but like just the minimum of what my students have to deal with. So my students are the agents of change. What we are more that we have and letting them show who they are. So they're amazing. My classroom is but that's what it means to me. Tonight I'm going to share my story as a Black Spanish-speaking student in Harrison, Virginia. Because nobody has explained why we make connections with kids completely. I also want to shout out my amazing students at all charter schools. And I want to also shout out the Black women that made our school in charter schools. We are the only school that went from public to charter. Some of my students did not know today and yesterday, but the fact that she's a Black woman, it brings them all together, especially with the fight. I'm going to tell this quickly. I have the floor in the so my voice is not the same. So I'll start. My goal is with this story. It's not one to zero. Okay, this is a good story. My goal is to communicate, connect, use some culture, and compare something. These are the 5 of world languages. Okay, so always make sure your language teacher is using them. So, my story is about a Black ESL student who wanted to fit in but felt conceived
when you are a black child who comes from another country and also is an immigrant, sometimes people just put you in a box and they don't think that you belong. They just think she's one of everything. I'm gonna share with you guys why I connect so much with my students. Because I'm in America by the grace of God. I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up with food scarcity. I grew up like a lot of kids in Southeast and also in Northwest, because you talk about it. But it's disgusting to me that we have that issue in America because this is a development. My country, we have a lot of it. So my desire as a Black ESL student was to connect and feel like I belong without assumptions. I connect with others through words or movement. My educational experience was very interesting. In San Pedro de Macorís, my teachers liked me only when I was quiet and nice, like a good Christian girl, like a good tuition with spare time there, like I just had a medical procedure there and I to stay still there. I hated that public school so much. And my favorite class was Educación Física. I didn't have to wear the regular school uniform and my jeans or whatever. I couldn't play at all. I could play all school day. I could talk, I could flip, I could run. I could just not kick. So because I look like one, that's why. So when I started my 8th grade year in middle school in rural Virginia, I was very happy they had a gym class too. My teachers in the 8th grade, well, they seemed nice. I didn't understand what they were saying to me, but I felt like they were tolerating me. One goal with me is I don't want my kids to ever feel tolerated. I want them to feel seen. I want them to feel embraced, and I want them to feel connected to me and the curriculum. I don't want them to feel like she's just here because she might be home. No, she's gonna stay. And she's gonna see you and your sibling and maybe another sibling. In my class, I didn't have to speak English, especially in gym, and I like that. So I didn't speak any English. I could do the faces. Raise your hand if you've done the faces in the gym class. Did anybody do the faces? I did the faces and I did both of those. The places, I did the basketball, I played badminton, I played the mile. Long story short, in America, in the gym class, we actually have space, and we also have like different sports. Like I know how to do fencing now, but in the real, I do my shoulders. So I was good. I was set up by a group of Latinas who I love them, but my Latina friends actually set me up. They set me up in gym class when they knew I wanted to connect with my African American new friends. So because my African American friends don't speak Spanish, I relied on my chismosa chismosa girls. I relied on them to make that connection because I wanted to learn the traffic. When I got my friends from Central America, they actually connected me to the African American girls in the traffic. They actually made a big cheese, a big cluster. And they said that I was talking about somebody's boyfriend who I actually ended up with when I was in 11th. They said that I was messing with him. I wasn't. Long story short, I got jumped by 8 people. In the 8th grade, my second week of school in America, I told my father I don't want to be in this country, take me back. But we couldn't go back because I wasn't a citizen in the 8th grade. I was a resident. And my dad was barely a resident because he didn't go to their house. We had to go see him after that, see him and play. When I got beat up, I said, okay, that's fine. My learning experience was that not everyone that comes to the new country should fail. However, I have such a need and desire to protect the other characters in my school that a lot of people nowadays say Dominicans don't know the blackness. I know my blackness. I've been knowing my blackness. I felt my blackness there and here. But my issue was there that my friends who spoke the same language as me did not share the same skin color as me. They did not share the same experience as me. Therefore, I was the somebody told me this. they go, what do you call it? What do they call it? The black sheep and everybody took their time to use me as a target. When we got to the ninth grade, it was different because I actually became best friends with all the girls, children. And the girls that picked me up in the eighth grade, the ring leader and I are like kids, we're both parents. The ring leader told me what was going on, and I actually waited for the 1 year here, 3 blocks away from the school. I'm gonna leave her there because I be sure. But the situation was that she never made me. I just wanted to share that with her. I just want to share that with you guys so that when you see what I did, I got it real good. And for me as a black woman, I'm sure we're from the social school. For right now, we are proud to be black women. Sammy Sosa was confused. Yes, he used to shine shoes with my father. So not every Dominican person is confused about the blackness. I am a Dominican woman with essential blackness, love being black, who will not sit in front of my students, teach them without being involved. But when you see a black child from another country, help them connect with the African American kids. Don't push them. Don't make them weird that they have their own personality. And some of them don't say they're black. Our parents never do that. But when they come here and they sit in the school, the diversity check off. You check black because you are black. And I want you guys to take away from this experience. Being black and Latino or black or anything else is very, very confusing when you are a child, let alone not knowing the language. It fucks with your brain. I had an identity crisis until I got to college because I didn't know if I hung out with the black girls, I was good. When I hang out with the Latina, so I hung out with the Korean. Just encourage your kids, hang out with who makes you feel whole. And I want to say, I am here today because the power makes me feel whole. All international churches will make me feel whole. I cannot get in front of children if I don't feel whole. Before I got into home, I have a lot of people that know what I went through mentally. I cannot express how disturbing it is for me to know that there are black children in the United States, the superpower of the world, the capital of the world, dying and struggling with food issues. That's a no-no. And our kids need to get out of their club. They need a passport. And they also need the experience, the whole global black experience. Black children in the entire world, they really need people to support them, but they are not a charity thing. No black child is a charity thing. They're geniuses. Their mothers and their fathers actually care. The thing is, their mothers and fathers don't know how to access the around services in the school because they don't feel comfortable checking in with the school. So when you guys go back to your schools and in front of your kids, don't forget, don't feel uncomfortable saying, hey, I need to ask your mom if she just did. Get comfortable, sit next to them. They need you more than you do. Their parents rely on us to be their or second parent. Sometimes we're their first parent, and we have kids who don't have parents. But don't ever judge a child by what kind of home they come from. Their parents are trying hard. They are trying hard, and it's confusing to be a teen in Washington, D.C. right now. So make sure you don't also overshare our information with this. Something that every child needs to have a conversation about privately. Because I have one girl, she is, I'm not going to say her nationality, but she's black, immigrant, from a documented family, and today she had a broke out session in my home. And she didn't feel comfortable talking to a counselor, she didn't feel comfortable talking to nobody. But she thinks that the only topic is not open in the 6 Central There's a lot of African kids who have that issue too.
But you guys need to make sure you let the kids know, like, don't push it on them. Hey, how you doing? And what's your favorite color? Will make them feel like you want to know everything about it. Write down their questions, you know. They feel safe when our parents, when our parents come here, they don't have time for it. They don't have time because they're working, so nobody's joining them. So my name is Miss May. It's been a Spanish class daily. I am gonna put this out because my voice is hurting, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you have ever seen her interact with her students, they love her as much as she loves them. And it's like it's honestly, it's like beautiful. Thank you so much for your story and for all right. Our next speaker, who I believe is also featured on a podcast episode. Is also featured on our podcast episode for the Educator Wellness Revolution, which is the Power podcast that you should all be listening to. Our next speaker is Sakiba Pro. Sakiba is a educator with over a decade of experience prioritizing peace, spreading love, and healing. Currently, she's an SEL teacher by day and a yogi mom traveler in her spare time.
I just want to start off by saying gratitude to everything that you guys are doing connected. Also, just want to start off by saying, right, just first up and prayers up to my boss. I'm pretty sure a lot of other educators all lost students and violence. I teach in the grade grade. Every day it's a struggle sometimes, right? So this kind of spoken word, but kind of reflection to my journey, and I just kind of titled it out to watch. So each one. I didn't choose this name. I promise you, I know that because it definitely chose me. I remember the level of excellence required and work ethic demanded because that's how you prove who you were. Yes, English, language arts, science, and arithmetic. But I remember back in the day, we all had the same goal. Teachers, parents, community, the village supported us, and we were all on one accord. So a little bit of my journey, right, from HR to the classroom, from STEM to now SEL and wellness. Choosing to show up daily despite my own challenges. Working in the system, not for us, but working for us. From burnout to balance. So I remember my first day of teaching, my lesson was centered on the story of the sample. So to summarize, right, the classmates made fun of my name because of the amount of letters and its uniqueness. So the teacher ended up creating a safe space, a safe environment to learn and appreciate differences. By the end of class, of course, they all loved her name, especially when they found out that her second was a girl. And I remember the uniqueness of my name. Being something folks, including teachers, wouldn't take the time to pronounce correctly. My first group of students were new students, so they were new to this country, and I made it a point for them to correct me every single time I started to name identity. Identity is the way I identify who I am. As an educator, my identity shows up, and I'm awesome. It's important because no one can tell you who you are, even when you may not know who you really are, because your own power is there. There's power in you just as you are. So I teach because I'm dedicated and truly committed to teaching them whole child. Planting seeds in hopes that one day they'll know whether I see them or not. So for my own children at home and for all my students, I do this is for them. That's why I teach. So each one.
Can we give it up for the Half Smoke team real quick? Appreciate you. Just want to give a moment if there's anybody who's feeling called to step to the stage. This is time for you to raise your voice, raise your hand. I see volunteering that's happening to my left. Come on up. So, we have Colin Roddick's partner here. I'm going to say very proud of Lorenzo. He is an ECE teacher. And we're going to be for a very long time. Okay, we'll go with that.
How you guys doing? My name is Colin. I'm a pre-K teacher. I've been in early childhood for over 10 years. I've been in DC public schools teaching for the last 8 years. So I'm in business as well as we are talent stories, right? And we're in the business to help create stories for our students. But before I get into my own story, I want you to meet someone who I call an ancestor in the making. This is my father's memoir. My dad, right? He wrote this. This was a labor of love for him. My relationship with my father is one thing he wanted to do was ensure that he knew his family. He wanted to make sure that he could have been right, and he wanted to make sure that his family knew who he was in a way that he could have set up verbally. So basically, he wrote his right testimony. And as I said, my dad and I have a very strange relationship, but I'm very appreciative of him writing this book because it gives me a foundation of who I am as a Black man in the context of who he is. And he gives me something that if I ever have children, that if they ever ask about my grandfather, say, but it's also very powerful for my students as well, because they get to see if I put in this classroom. But I want to talk about my story a little bit, and there's a reason why I'm wearing this hoodie today. So, as I said, I've been teaching for the last 20 years. For the first 10, as I'm sure for many of you, being in the field was difficult. And there was a point where I wondered if I would teach or continue teaching. Long story short, I had the opportunity to live in the Bronx back in 2011 for 5 months. And I worked with a family group there intentionally. And one of the first conversations I had with my wife on my job, they were all mostly teenagers at the time. And in trying to get to know me, they were asking, where are you from? So obviously I told them, well, I was born in the UK, but my family from the Caribbean. Barbados, my dad, my mom, but I lived down in the States. But they kept asking me, well, uncle, where are you from? And I got a little annoyed because I just told you where. But then I realized what they were asking. They were asking me where you from in the concept of fun. And that was at the first time, probably in my life, where I kind of wondered where I was from in terms of because that was the first time I actually was hit with the idea of like who I was. And so I know with them, I think it's working. After you go like, and so they may not know who their family is, but they're sure they're who their tribe is. And so for me, the idea that I didn't know in connection to my ancestry really bothered me. So I said to myself, if I was ever going to come back to Africa, I was not going to come back and not know where my ancestry was from. So this is just one, as I found another few that I'm a part of that I can actually research. And though I may not know names, I can know history, I can know like culture, but more importantly, I can learn legacy. And this is something that my dad's and he's alive. Every time I talk to him, he always asks me, what is the legacy? What is your legacy? And he keeps asking me if it's not but I think that's a good point. I think that's a step. We don't think stories. And often when we talk about Black history, we often talk about the middle. We often talk about the state. We often talk about but we don't almost never talk about the detail. We never often talk about what was like prior to all. And so our students are coming in with a disconnect because they see, they know that pain, they know of that history, but with no context as to what came before. And then they're trying to figure out, well, if I come up with this, what's the future? And so, and I remember specifically when I was in Uganda, kind of on a journey towards something who I was. So I was living in the bush. So no TV, barely any internet, the whole night. And I went into college for a day. And I remember being at the pool because of my study. And I happened to be with a couple of others in the pool lane, but everyone else around. And I just said it not to sound racist, but I just kind of blurted out, oh, there's no white people. And two things happened to me that I think is very complicated. They think of me continuing being, as I said, how kind of possible that white people. The first thing that came to my mind was being in that culture where I wasn't was one of the few times that I wasn't conscious about being black. And I realized how oppressive that is in this country. And if you can imagine what it's like for you, imagine what that's like for the students. And then the second thing that I came to realize was in a lot of ways how privileged we really are. How racism in this country has invested in our lives. And so when we talk about being unapologetically Black, this man is probably one of the most, if you ever get to meet him, unapologetically Black men I personally. But he lives his life intensively in terms of knowing, wanting to know his past. So he's able to dictate himself what he wants to present. And I'm very blessed that I have a testimony here that I can read this. And my challenge to you is, as Black educators, is to, we want to create stories just like this, and not necessarily on paper. So we're very fortunate that we have all these books written by Black creators, but there should be millions. And not just in the they should be reflected in our cities. They should be reflected in our towns. It should be reflected in our homes. It should be reflected in our churches. It should be reflected in our homes. When we connect our students to their past, they will have a better understanding of who they are, and it gives them more purpose of who they can be in the future. As I said, we often teach in the middle of our story. That doesn't make it complete, though. That does not make it complete. People like the good, beginning, middle, and end. We teach that to our students. That's what makes a good now. It's our job to create that narrative for our students. Not just talk about the middle, but talk about the middle and how we can help them navigate that. And I'll just say one more thing before I leave. As I said, I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to be a little bit more grounded in who I am as a Black person. Anyone who does not give our Black students the opportunity to explore who they are, perpetuating the racism, exploitation, and imperialism that has enslaved our people in the last 500 years. And that keeps some of us who may just isolate our students to just like in America. But being to me, being on college with Black is we got college being Black in the fullness of Black.
Come on.
Not just limited to America. It should include Latin America. It should include the Caribbean. It should include Europe. It should include Africa. Wherever Black people are, that's us. The fullness of it. And so when I talk about Black history, I talk about it in terms of, for me, being connected to Africa, Europe, and I challenge you all to take those students and spend their stories. Not just Africa, not just America, get it? But to understand who we are and kind of understand the fullness of Black people. You need to know who our other schools are. Offer that product. I'm very fortunate. That someone puts me on my good days. And our hope is that my hope is here, and I know our hope is that we have other access to our classes.
Thank you, Colin, for sharing that. I've heard you talk about your father's book before, and it's just a really, really powerful story. And I really, really appreciate as well, like that concept of letting people be Black to focus on themselves, however that looks. So great. I think we have one more speaker, and I want to note as well on time. We are just about at 8 o'clock, so we would love for you to stay a little bit longer if you have time. Hello, my name is Gabrielle Rose. I have worked with the Towheads for 5 years now. She's our president. Woo-hoo! I'm also serving the food. I'm excited to bring to meet you tonight at the Unapologetically Black Storytellers Lounge. I want to say right off the bat, I'll be very quick. I've been in the field for over 30 years. And I taught harder, private Christians, and now academic. And so what I want to say to the educators in the room is, you got to know that it's a calling. You have to know that it's a calling to be involved in education, period, full stop. Because of all the front line challenges and so forth that we experience as human beings,
So you have to know that you're called to do this work, especially if you're into Black skin. You have to know you're called to do it because it's a tough and challenging role. However, it's very rewarding. So what I want to say to the educators in the room also is make sure that you are taking care of yourself, because you're on the front line. Make sure you're being real good how to take care of yourself, protect your wellness, and build boundaries around your emotions and your mental well-being, etc. Because we get out of ourselves so much day in and day out. So again, I'm going to go back and say my thesis. Be sure that you know that this is a calling. And I like what Paul was saying, what others have said here tonight as well. Yes, we're teaching curriculum, but we're also involved in the business of protecting humanity.
Come on,
And helping our students understand that they have a place.
Right.
Period, full stop.
Right.
And yes, we have to not teach from trauma. It's real. And we kind of ignore the trauma that many of our students in these other parts of the country struggle with. That's real too. But I can't stand up for my students and not give them hope.
Come on.
So we have to find words of hope while we're teaching our subject area. We have to find words of hope while we're talking about what's going on down the street here in this country. We still have to find words of hope because our children are our present and our future.
Come on.
The future.
Yep.
That internet has brought them into information that they're really too young to even try to process. But this is where they are. So as educators, and again, I'm going to go back to that thesis, you got to know that it's a calling.
Come on.
So it goes beyond the subject matter that you're teaching to finding words that bring it home. Our preschoolers, kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, they need words of hope because we are going to turn this thing over to them. So we have to help them to know how to stand. We have to help them common things that go back to beginnings. Don't just teach from the middle. So that means that the educators are doing even more hats. But you got to know it's a calling. This is where you want to impact lives for real. On all sorts of this, all kinds of the ethnicity line, we are here to bring truth to all of our students. Think about humanity. Think about bringing in positive words of affirmation and hope to our students and to yourself. So it's a full-time job. It really doesn't end. Talk to somebody who's been doing it really over 30 years. So, charge yourself, but be good to yourself. Put some boundaries around those areas to protect yourself. Really plan ahead to teach your children the full scope and spectrum of education because it's not just a subject matter.
Come on.
Read history, bring it into the classroom. There's lots of creative ways to do that. So know this calling. Be focused on yourself and on your children also, and understand that it's tough. It's a tough field, but it's so very rewarding. Right? You see the kids on the other side of getting the lesson. It's very rewarding. So thank you so much for being here. Unapologetically. All right. Thank you so much to everyone who has stuck around with us. It is 8:02. And so, in closing, I want to give us another round for all of our speakers. I learned so much from all of you, and I'm so glad that we were able to share this space together. Before we have you all head out, we have two quick things. I'm going to hand it off to Keisha in just a moment, but I also want to say, if you want to be involved in more events like this, if you want to be involved in more Black educator events, we have Empowered Group Rest and Rise, which is that sort of pink and green room. Please go ahead and scan that code. Our next event is March 13th, and it is a team chat day. We partner with Black businesses. It's a big time. We also have our email sign-up list and our link tree, so please get involved. That is not an advocacy group. That is just a group for people to come together, socialize, be in community, really understand the particular experiences of being Black in education. If you want to be involved in our advocacy work, because everybody who is up here is talking about systemic issues that affect our teachers, affect our students, affect our families, our communities, our schools. If you want to be involved in that work, go ahead
and we would love your feedback on this as well, so that we can make this event better next year. And also action sign up. So if there's something that's coming up that you really want to be a part of, we are in budget oversight season. Tell the city what they're doing well, what they're not doing well, what you want to see. If you want to come talk to council members, come talk to policymakers with us, scan that, let us know. We will bring you directly to the table. There are so many opportunities for us to affect change and raise our voices, for us to be in community together. So please, if you are interested in any of that, go ahead and scan those QR codes. We would love to have you. Right, I'm going to hand it off now to Keisha for a very special tradition at this story lounge. Every year we've done it. It is the golden lines. I'll hand it over to Keisha to explain further, but this is a really special. Awesome. Give it up one more time for Caroline. Empower Ed. Give it up for yourselves. For all of us that are in this space. Caroline shared, I'm newly adopted in the MC space of this night. I want to honor Vanessa Williams, who was our former DC area Educator Social Justice Program Manager. Vanessa has gone on to work with DC History Center. We are continuing the legacy that Vanessa has helped to create through this night, and then also through this practice that I'm going to try to do justice for. So if you did not know, those of you who spoke your stories and helped to co-create what she has called the Golden Lines, which is a poem, a collection of nuggets that each of you have spoken into this evening, that will be posted later, but also just wanting to share for now. So, dear first responder, we are going far, not alone. Our classrooms are not silos. Embrace your community. We don't just survive, we thrive. Think outside the box. It's not finished yet. Amplifying small voices, all the ways you'll impact, and teachers will never know. Desire for more. Ensure basic needs are met. On purpose, for a purpose. How do we build up if we're talking about deficiencies? Hold them down, put ego on the shelf, systems down, or we will drown. Fire within, rise each day, carrying their names. Seeds of hope will grow. I'll teach from both. Black is brilliant. Once an educator, always an educator. We're here. Black Lives Matter is an action. My students are the agents of change. Teaching kids to breathe when I could barely do the same. No one can tell you who you are. Ancestry in the making. I teach because I'm dedicated. Foundation of who I am. Where am I from? What is our legacy? Whatever Black people are, that's our story. It's a calling. It's not something that we choose, but something that we cherish. Thank you all so much for being present. Thank you again to Empower Ed. Give it up to yourselves. Again, give it up to Have Smoke. You don't have to go home. Enjoy yourselves. And thank you again for all that y'all do for our young people. Thank you again for all that y'all have done for each other. These are the spaces that we get to create for ourselves, and we just appreciate that you took the time to